All right, are you ready for this? We're diving deep into melatonin today, and let me tell you, it's a wild ride.
Yeah, it really is.
This story starts all the way back in the 1950s, and trust me,
Yeah.
it's not what you'd expect at all.
I mean, it's incredible how something that started with just tadpoles and skin pigmentation ended up revealing
Right.
so much about, well, us, our sleep, our health, and maybe even the aging process itself.
Seriously, just picture it. 1958, the whole world's going crazy over the space race,
Oh, yeah.
pushing the boundaries of, well, everything, right?
Right.
But over at Yale, in a lab,
Mm.
a dermatologist, Aaron Lerner, was on a totally different kind of exploration.
He was studying this substance, right, that they found in cow pineal glands. You
Oh,
know, that tiny pine cone shaped structure in the brain, the one that philosophers have been calling the third eye for centuries.
wait, are we talking about the same gland that's been linked to, like,
Yeah.
mysticism and enlightenment and all that?
That's the one. And Lerner was trying to figure out what this thing did, and he isolated a substance that caused tadpole skin to lighten,
Hmm.
called it melatonin.
Melatonin. Okay.
And, well, everyone just assumed it was all about skin pigmentation.
Yeah, sounds pretty straightforward, right?
Right.
Just another molecule just doing its thing.
But here's where the story takes a turn. Researchers started noticing that melatonin levels,
Oh.
they fluctuated throughout the day. Like they'd rise at night and fall during the day.
Oh.
This suggested that it wasn't just about skin, it was connected to, well, our body's internal
Hold
clock,
on, are you saying this tiny gland in our brain is actually keeping track of time?
pretty much.
But how does it even know when it's day or night?
That's the million-dollar question. And it led to a whole new era of research in the 1960s focused on understanding how this tiny gland, this third eye, was actually regulating our sleep-wake cycles.
Okay, so to recap,
Uh-huh.
we've got this mysterious molecule, melatonin,
Right.
produced by this mystical gland, the pineal gland, and it's all tied to our sleep-wake cycles.
Exactly.
So where do we go from here?
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
In the 1970s, the mystery, well, it deepened. Scientists discovered that it wasn't the pineal gland itself that sensed light.
Oh?
It was special cells in our eyes that acted like these little light detectors.
So our eyes aren't just for seeing, they're like internal clocks too.
In a way, yes. These light-sensing cells, they send signals to this master clock in our brain. It's called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN for short.
The SCN got it.
And then the SCN relays instructions to the pineal gland to produce melatonin.
Wow. So is this chain reaction a whole pathway from light to our eyes to our brain and finally to the production of melatonin?
Precisely. But it's a delicate system.
Okay.
And as we'll see, our modern lifestyle, well, it throws a few wrenches into the gears.
Oh, I have a feeling I know where this is going.
Yeah.
Enter artificial light, late night screens,
Yeah.
and our 24/7 world.
You got it. But before we get there, let's delve a little deeper into the fascinating world of circadian rhythms and how they impact our health in ways, well, we're only beginning to understand.
All right, I'm ready for more. Let's unravel the next chapter of the melatonin story.
Let's do it. Okay, so we've got this intricate pathway, right?
Right.
Light hits those special cells in your eyes.
Okay.
Signal travels to your brain's master clock, and then boom, pineal gland gets the memo, starts pumping out the melatonin.
It's like this perfectly choreographed dance, but what happens when someone, like, steps on our toes?
That's exactly where things get interesting. Remember how I mentioned our modern lifestyle kind of throws a wrench in the system?
Uh-huh.
Well, picture this. It's late at night, you're out for a walk, street lights are blazing, phone in hand, maybe catching up on some emails.
That's pretty familiar.
Yeah.
But what's the big deal? A little light never hurt anyone, right?
Not so fast. See, your body's getting mixed signals. Those bright lights, they're tricking those light-sensitive cells in your eyes, making your brain think it's still daytime.
So even though it's like 11 p.m. and I'm ready for bed, my brain's going, nope, sun's still up, time to be productive.
Exactly. And that's where the trouble starts. That master clock in your brain, the SCN,
Yeah.
gets confused. It holds back on sending that make melatonin signal to the pineal gland.
So less melatonin is being produced, even though my body needs it to, like, wind down for sleep.
Precisely. Scientists call this chronodisruption, and it's a bit like having jet lag without ever leaving your time zone.
Huh.
Your internal clock's out of sync with the natural world.
This is starting to make sense.
Yeah.
I know I've definitely had nights where I just can't fall asleep, even though I'm totally exhausted.
Yeah.
Is that chrono disruption in action?
It very well could be. And it's not just about feeling tired.
Yep.
Chronodisruption has been linked to, well, all sorts of health issues.
Wait, seriously. So we're talking more than just a bad night's sleep. What else can go wrong?
Well, for starters, melatonin isn't just about sleep. It's also a powerful antioxidant.
Hold on, back up a sec. Antioxidants. I thought those were things you got from, like, blueberries and green tea.
You do get antioxidants from your diet, but your body also produces them naturally.
Oh.
Melatonin is one of them. And antioxidants, they help protect your cells from damage caused by free radicals.
Okay, quick refresher. What are free radicals again?
Think of them as, well, unstable molecules that can kind of wreak havoc in your body, damaging cells and contributing to aging and disease.
Okay.
Antioxidants, they neutralize them, like tiny little warriors protecting your cells.
So melatonin is like a double agent,
Yeah,
regulating our sleep and fighting off those cellular bad guys.
pretty much. But when chronodisruption messes with melatonin production, you've got less of those antioxidants on duty. That means your cells are more vulnerable.
I'm starting to see how this all connects. So chronodisruption leads to less melatonin, which means less sleep, and D, less protection from those harmful free radicals.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop there.
Oh.
Melatonin also plays a role in regulating your immune system.
Okay, now this is getting really interesting. I know my immune system is important for fighting off colds and infections, but how does melatonin fit into all of this?
Well, research suggests that melatonin can actually enhance immune function, making your body's defenses stronger.
So if chronodisruption lowers my melatonin levels, does that mean my immune system takes a hit too?
It's definitely possible. Studies are still ongoing, but there's growing evidence that chronic chronodisruption can weaken the immune system, making you more susceptible to illness.
Wow, this is way bigger than I ever imagined. It's not just about feeling sleepy or groggy. It's about our overall health and well-being.
Precisely. But here's the thing. Even if you're doing everything right, getting enough daylight, minimizing nighttime light exposure, there's another factor that can affect melatonin production.
Uh-oh. Okay. What else do we need to watch out for?
Aging.
Yeah.
As we get older, our bodies naturally produce less melatonin.
So even if I'm, like, super diligent about my sleep hygiene, there's no escaping this age-related melatonin decline.
Unfortunately, not entirely. But the good news is, understanding this natural decline allows us to make informed choices to, well, support our health as we age.
All right, I'm ready for some good news. What can we do to mitigate this age-related melatonin drop?
We'll delve into that a bit later, but first, let's talk about how all of this led to the rise of melatonin supplements. Remember, melatonin went from a lab curiosity to, well, a household name.
Oh yeah, melatonin supplements. They're everywhere these days.
Yeah.
But how did we go from tadpoles and skin pigmentation to people popping melatonin pills?
That's a story in itself, and it's got its own twists and turns.
Okay, so we've got this incredible hormone, right? Melatonin, with all these potential benefits.
Yeah.
But then our modern lifestyles and, well, just getting older can really throw off its production.
Exactly.
And that's where the whole supplement craze comes in, right?
You got it. Back in the late 1990s, they figured out how to make synthetic melatonin.
Oh, wow.
And, well, that pretty much opened the floodgates. Melatonin supplements were suddenly everywhere, promising better sleep and, oh, all sorts of health benefits.
It sounds like a bit of a double-edged sword, though. I mean, on the one hand, you have access to this potentially helpful supplement.
Right.
But on the other hand, it's easy to see how people might, jump on the bandwagon without really understanding, well, the whole picture.
That's the challenge with any supplement that gets popular so quickly. There's just so much hype.
Yeah,
It can be hard to sort out what's real and what's not.
exactly. So let's break it down a bit. What are the real benefits of melatonin supplements, and what are the potential downsides?
Well, the biggest benefit is definitely its potential to help with, sleep issues. Like melatonin can be really effective for people experiencing jet lag
Yeah, that makes sense.
or those who work night shifts and need to reset their internal clocks.
Right.
It's like giving your body a little nudge in the right direction when its natural rhythms are all messed up.
Exactly. But you're saying melatonin supplements aren't a magic bullet
Right.
and that they're not for everyone.
Right. It's important to remember that.
Okay, so what are some things people should be aware of before they start taking melatonin?
Well, for starters, dosage is really important. Taking too much melatonin can actually backfire.
Really?
Yeah, it can disrupt your sleep and make you groggy the next day.
So it's like the Goldilocks principle.
Exactly.
Not too much, not too little. You need just the right amount.
Right.
What else should we keep in mind?
Another important thing is that melatonin can interact with some medications.
Oh, right.
So if you're taking anything, it's always best to check with your doctor first.
Good point. Always better to be safe than sorry. Right.
Absolutely.
What about long-term use? Is it safe to take melatonin every night?
That's a question that scientists are still looking into. We really need more long-term studies to understand what happens when people use melatonin over a long period.
So more research is needed. It seems like that's a common theme, right?
It really is. We're still learning about melatonin and how it works in the body. But that's what makes this field so exciting. There's still so much to discover.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of breakthroughs are we talking about?
Well, personalized melatonin therapies, for one.
Personalized therapies, what does that even mean?
It means treatments tailored to you, your genes, your lifestyle, your health needs.
So instead of just grabbing a bottle of melatonin off the shelf,
Right.
we could have customized formulations designed for us.
Exactly. And that's really just the beginning. Researchers are also looking at melatonin's potential in preventing age-related diseases because of its antioxidant properties.
So not just better sleep, but maybe healthier aging too. That would be amazing.
It could be. And there's also exciting research on using melatonin to enhance performance for people who work night shifts, athletes traveling across time zones, even astronauts.
Wow, from better sleep to boosting performance to maybe even slowing down aging, melatonin really is kind of a superhero hormone.
It's definitely a fascinating molecule with a lot of potential. But just like with any powerful tool, we need to use it wisely.
That's a great point. And it's a good takeaway from our deep dive into melatonin, I think. Science keeps unlocking all these amazing possibilities, but we need to approach them with caution and a healthy respect for our own biology.
Couldn't agree more. The story of melatonin just shows us how powerful scientific inquiry can be, how interconnected our bodies are, and how important it is to find balance in a world that's constantly messing with our natural rhythms.
Well, that was quite the journey. From a substance that lightened tadpole skin to a potential game changer in medicine, the story of melatonin is full of surprises and a good reminder that even the tiniest molecules can have a huge impact on our lives.
Well said. And the story's not over yet. Who knows what amazing discoveries are still waiting for us as we learn more about this amazing hormone.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of melatonin. We hope you learned something new and maybe gained a new appreciation for, well, the power of darkness. Until next time.